Why is it that so many funded prop firm traders move away to Asia, leave America, leave Europe, and live a different lifestyle to what they could have at home? I'm going to talk through the complete breakdown of a difference between living in Europe, for example. In my case, I am from the UK, so we're going to go with London, versus living abroad in somewhere like Asia, specifically in this case, Vietnam, because I did go last year and I do know the prices on that. And we're going to break down an overall total here. Before I get comments, these figures are generalization to live a good life and a happy life, healthy life, all of these different things. They aren't scrimping and scraping, and neither are they living in complete luxury and doing everything you want to do. But that's not the point of this video. I myself am looking to move to Asia. The reason being is because the cost of living in Europe has become so high. And if you are a funded trader, you're going to need way more capital to be able to actually live in these countries and live a good life. We're going to talk through this in pounds as well. So if you are from Europe or US, add on a little bit extra to acquire the exchange rate there. So necessities, what you have to have is obviously a place to live. So apartment is over 2K. If you want to be in central London, this may even be a low figure here. And you want a decent enough place, you want a nice apartment. If you want to be in Canary Wharf or the best places, these apartments, even if they're one bed, are going to cost 3-4K minimum. So we're going to go on the low figure of maybe on the outskirts of central London. That isn't in the premium places. You're going to be at least paying 2K, £2,000, $3,000 nearly. It is that expensive. Many people that are from Asia or Africa don't actually know how expensive it is. You've never been to Europe. I would say London's probably the most expensive place in Europe, maybe bar Switzerland. I don't know many other places that are that expensive to live in. Next necessity is a car, £200. You might have paid off your car, but this is, again, if you're looking to just have a car you maybe pay a monthly on. You probably need an Oyster card if you want to travel the underground in London as well. That can be a few £100 a month. So again, whatever you choose for your transport, you are going to be paying into. That doesn't count any Ubers or anything like that. Fuel, again, you may be or maybe not paying that, depending if you're getting a train, but another couple £100. You may want to travel to other areas in the UK. These things add up quickly. Again, food, if you're budgeting 50 a week, I would say if I wanted to live in the UK and eat the best food from the best shops in the supermarkets, I would say you're paying double that, 400. But say you are going to the cheaper places like Aldi, Lidl, you can still eat very well for 50 a month. Is the quality of the food the best? Questionable. I don't think it is. But overall, them figures, you're looking at nearly £3,000. Bearing in mind, after tax, 3K, you're looking at needing to make at least 50,000 before tax. That's not even coming on to things that you'd like to do. That's a lot of money. Prop firm capital wise, to get 3K consistently is very difficult. Some months you may not make much payouts or any payouts at all. You've got to factor all these things in. Very, very high living costs. Absolutely ridiculous prices here. I can't believe the state of the UK. I don't even want to get into the ins and outs of what it's like living in the UK now, because the quality of living has gone down a lot of homeless, and this is just the extra stuff that we're going to talk about a bit later on. Basic living, you're looking at 2.5 to 4K, depending on what you push for. Then we come into a gym. If you want to have a good lifestyle, you're going to have to pay for a gym. The gyms here, you want to pay for cheap gyms. They don't have sauna, steam room, ice baths, recovery tools. You're going to be paying at least £100, but I would say David Lloyd in the UK is at least 150. You could push into £200 for a great membership. Again, you're not paying anything for washing. That will come under the food bill. Phone, maybe on a SIM. Again, that's not for me to decide if you are paying a contract. But if you are paying for a SIM, it's very cheap. I wanted to try and add in as much basics as I could that made sense to be spent on. That could come under necessities as well, but really, okay, I'm going to put that in extras. Massage, again, if I want to live a good life, I would want a weekly full body massage. In the UK here, you can push up to nearly £100 for that, for a 90-minute session. It's the luxuries here that you really can't afford. If you're a working class citizen in the UK, you will talk to people. They won't be getting massages. They will forego these extras, and the luxuries that you can have here are very limited because you can't pay for them. They are simply too much. As we speak about all the time since the 2020, what happened there? The line is thinning between the upper class and the lower class. The middle class living is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. You're either on the breadline or you're rich. There's very few people that are in between that now. You might be living in central London and you might have a 50, 60, 70,000 pound a year job. You're just getting by. You're not living a good life, really. You're working most of it. You're stressing about the fast-paced lifestyle that goes on there. Everyone's competing with each other. There is no winner, really. In my eyes, there is no winner. Even the people that are on six figures, lifestyle inflation goes up. You have to live in central London to get to work. It's a crazy world we live in. But going out for drinks, I think coffees are worthy, but you're not going on nights out if you're a serious trader, are you? You may do once in a blue moon. But for £6 of coffee adds up really quick. You're already at 200 quid. It's mad. Water and sports drink. The only reason why I've done this is you do need to pay for water in Asia. You can't be drinking the tap water there. Days out, maybe doing some stuff. £50 a week. You're budgeting that. Dinners out. You may be going out for one dinner a week. Total of that, nearly £500. So as an overall, if you want to live a good life in London, you're at least looking at £3,300. This total, you got to remember, this isn't you saving any money. This is expenses going out. That's the total for London. Let's talk now into what it would look like for Asia. Firstly, we've got to talk through the expenses to get to Asia because you are paying for a flight and you do generally have to get a visa. Flights are between, depending on when you book, between 400 and 800. You can do cheaper if you're looking for multiple connections. I'm talking about, again, getting there quick, getting there within 1 or 2 stops, not overdoing it, not paying for business or first class as well. This is all extras. So the basic economy, you're looking at 500 to 700 really. A visa for a quarter is about 20. So that will come into the beginning of it. That's about 620. So already you're at a higher expense than just getting into London. This is where the game changes though. Necessities here. You can live in a very nice apartment right by the beach for £300. If you're with others, you could even make this lower and live in an even better place with a pool. £300 for an apartment. And I'm going to show you now some of the places that you can stay at for cheap as well. What I want to do as well is, for traders that are watching this, you have the dream to move out of the UK or move out of Europe. Like me, you've got to envision this. You've got to dream it. And you have to look as if this would be your lifestyle. Because if you don't do that, how can you vision yourself being there? So these are the things in general I just like to do. Create this. Really see and compare what it would be like to be in this place. And that's why I went last year. I went last year to see if I could make money whilst trading out there, having a break from work. And I did, in fact, get payouts while I was away trading as well. That created that certainty that I can achieve that without needing 2 monitors like I've got here. I've got my laptop, I've got my phone. That still works for me. It isn't the lifestyle that a lot of people want to do when they are trading, but it is possible. And if you do find yourself a place in Asia that you like long term, of course you can get all the equipment you need to trade. So let's have a look at the places in Airbnb, for example. Now you can, if you go to Asia and you find yourself an estate agent, you can go and visit all these different places without paying as much as Airbnb. So take this with a pinch of salt as well. This is just to get you out there, but even look at the prices now. They're ridiculously low. What do you need when you're living? Well, you would want a working space. You would also want a bed. Do you want a TV? Probably as well. You're right by the beach here, you can see. Da Nang's a great city. If you do look it up on YouTube, there is quite a lot to do here. You're going to want a good place with Wi-Fi as well, but factor in all these things. Just have a look at some of these places, you know, 200 a month. We're only about 5 minutes walk from the beach here. You can see the kind of places that you can live in. I mean, let's just quickly scroll through. You've got somewhere to sit and work. You can see that. You've got a bed. This is kind of more like a mini studio, I'd say. But again, you've got your fridge, you've got your kitchen, and a nice shower. And to think that's 200 a month is crazy. And it's kind of unbelievable. If you've never looked at this before, think about the places you can get for just double this price. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you've got places like this. Good enough bed. It's whether you can actually sit there and a laptop. You can trade from your desk there. That's not a problem. But yeah, places like this, it's crazy. This is what's available for a little bit more money. You've got your own pools now coming out of the apartment. Not many people use these because people are busy day to day. Flats again for 400. You've got really nice areas to live in here. Great spacious areas. Big rooms as well. Balconies, all this stuff. $370 a month. Again, you're right by the beach here. It's crazy. This is the reality that you can live. And to think how much is that? You get a payout of 1% on 100k. You can pay for this every month. £370. Huge rooms. Like it's actually crazy. Like, I absolutely love looking at it. And you can push yourself further into the hole of going through villas, 5 people villas, when you've got your trading mates with you and all this, or you've got your friends and family coming to visit. It's an unbelievable lifestyle, and it's way better than anything you'd get in London. let's go to this. You're going to look to probably get a scooter as well. Transport isn't as easy to get a car. You can also get a Grab, which is the equivalent of an Uber. But you're looking at, yeah, $70 a month for that. Fuel, it costs about $2 to $3 to fill up on fuel as well. You're now looking at a different possibility. You're not going to cook food for 3 times a day. You're not spending an hour and a half in the kitchen. You're now eating out 3 times a day. You are literally spending under £10 a day. You're maybe spending between £5 and £10 to eat out 3 times a day. This saves time. This just saves hassle. Your ability to spend more time doing what you love is there now because you're eating out 3 times a day, or you can get delivery in for so cheap as well. Coming into the extras here though now, gym, $100 a month. You are paying similar to UK if you do want the sauna steam room. So that's something that doesn't really come cheaper than Europe, I would say. That much cheaper anyway. But again, you can get a gym for £10 a month there and you can still have a good workout. So it's really cheap. Washing, you may have to pay for washing, but you'll get that done at a proper laundrette. They'll wash and fold your clothes up for you. Again, you may have an apartment with a washing machine. Therefore, you might not have to pay for this expense. Again, phone's going to be the same. Massages here, you're looking at paying really a third, if not a quarter of the price. $100 a month is affordable for a weekly massage as well. Mental. Maybe you want to pay pool, darts, paddle, all these things. The biggest expense that you wouldn't pay for when at home would be the water. Obviously, you've got to buy water. That's not that expensive though, is it? Let's be real. You're paying for sports drinks as well, which are like 30p, 50 cents. It's ridiculously cheap still. And you'll notice that when you do go into these 7-Elevens in Asia, they are very affordable and cheap. Days out, you may still be doing quite a lot of extra stuff if you're traveling around, if you are moving from place to place, but this was more just for a living condition. When you've got the beach, you've got the gym, I don't know if there's too much extra stuff you'd want to do when you're away. Maybe you would, hikes or different stuff, but a lot of that's free. You may want to do the certain things that are special about that certain place, but again, them things don't cost much money in Asia at all. Dinners out, you won't be doing that, but you do that in London. We're going to compare the two side by side in a minute. £450 a month. So the total, including flights and getting out there, is about 1.6. You're looking at £1,000 a month to live luxury life where you have everything you want. There is practically nothing else you want. You're on a holiday. You are obviously working, but you have to, if you do want to be a trader and entrepreneur, you've got to put the work in still. Here's the side-by-side comparison of the two places, so you can see in a bit more detail here what you're looking at price-wise. As for extras, overall you probably are looking at something similar, but it's all the necessities that cost way, way less. And of course there, for example, if you're going out 4 times a month in London for a dinner, I would even say 50 is cheap. You could spend 100 easily if you're going to the nicest places. That's the same price as eating out every day, 3 times a day in Asia, which is, you can't even get your head around this stuff. Until you go out there and experience it, you don't know what you're missing out on. You may think that the life in Europe is good, and we obviously know it's not affordable, realistically, for many people, but that's just proof of the pudding there. Monthly total for the first one, you're still paying with the flights half the price in Asia than you are in London. As for a quarterly total, you're looking at nearly 10k in London, 3,700 in Asia, which is nearly a third of the price of what you're paying in London. Yearly total here, so if you do want to live okay life in London, 40k a year after tax. That's also not including your holidays. So bearing in mind here, these extra things like holidays are being added in afterwards, which is going to cost thousands in itself. You might want to go on 2 to 3 holidays a year if you're living in London. You're going to spend another 10k, aren't you? Which, when you're paying a year here for 15,000 in a place like in Asia, or moving between different places, spending a few months in each, that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. Obviously, if you're traveling week on week, paying for Airbnbs right before you go somewhere, you are going to expect to pay more money. But generalization-wise, how can you say that this is not better? Pros and cons of living in both of these places. Like, I can't take away that there's a lot of drawbacks of certain things living in Asia, and it's a completely different culture as well. Where you live though, you've got your local language. It feels like home. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't really know. Family and friends though do live in these countries, and are you going to want to be away from them for too long? Maybe not. You get the city life in London, for example. A lot of people like that city life. The hustle and bustle of a place like that though. They like the fast-paced life. I can't take that away from anyone. I don't prefer that personally. I prefer the slower paced life, and I wouldn't want to be in a city all the time. It feels like you're going 100 miles an hour and there's never a break. But some people love that, and there's a lot to do in London. There's a lot of good things about London. I'm not going to take away from that. But we also have higher accessibility in regards to the people that you meet on the higher end. When you're going into being millionaires, you are going to have the opportunity to network with people from all over the world. Whereas in a place like Asia, as a lower level, if you are a trader that's making 10, 20k a month, you probably have more opportunities in networking with like-minded people, but you aren't going to have access to the top level people. They're not going to be chilling in Asia. A lot of time, people that are making millions and millions are in the first world countries. So you have to keep that in mind if you are looking to push or build businesses. Overall though, from the UK, what would I say about Europe? I can't speak for the whole of Europe, but I know that the UK at the minute is a failing society. Don't even start talking about the corruption in the UK and the crime that we're seeing at the minute. You can't even wear a nice watch in London. Central London, don't even dare to go out with a watch that costs more than 10k. You will have 4 people in balaclavas come up to you and try and rob you. And they will have knives, they will have all sorts of stuff on them that they will threaten you and they will stab you. So keep that in mind as well. You're not safe in the UK. You're not safe in these areas. You're always looking over your shoulder. You're always worrying about what's going to happen next. It's a horrible way to live. It really is. As for Asia, what's the benefits? I would say the lifestyle's slower. You are going to be at more of ease on your day-to-day basis. The people that live there they're not rushing. They're not in that hamster wheel life, going through the same daily cycle of competing with other people. They're there to enjoy their life just as much as you are. Friendly people, I would say, when you're living in Europe, I don't care where it is, people don't look at each other, people don't speak to each other, you mind your own business. When you're in a place like Asia, a lot of them are more friendly. They want to have a quick bit of chat. Obviously, a lot of them don't speak great English, but if you do speak English, they will have some degree of English. They all speak a little bit. You meet a lot of new people. When you're in London, like I said, everyone keeps to themselves. If you are able to meet new like-minded people in places like Thailand, Bali, all these places have a lot of digital nomads, so to speak. They are open to have conversations, learn things from you. You can learn things from them. And I think as a result of that, you would probably see your income increase. Not as much as if you're around these guys, but of course, you got to get a certain level before you start seeing that. Beach city, you're living in a great place with good weather as well. A lot of people like that. You're able to chill out a lot more at times and you're able to just enjoy your life a little bit more. Just lastly though, quality of food. You're paying less and you're getting better quality food. Food that is fresh, it's just been harvested or farmed, it's ready to go. There is no GMO products for a lot of the cases. You are going to get seeds and fruit. I mean, what are we living in the UK? It's a whole other video to talk about, but this is the total of living in Europe versus Asia. The idea, if you do want to live this life, because that's an option, you need at least 50k a year after tax to live a good life and to go on holidays. And if you do want to live a good life in Asia, you may only need about 20k, 15 to 20,000, which is achievable for a lot of prop firm traders. And you're only going to need a few 100k in funding, getting payouts, still being able to have other money for investments. No wonder why you see so many prop firm traders now moving to Asia. Thailand specifically is the biggest one. They're living a lifestyle that is just suitable and costs way less. That way you're not stressing out on the charts. You're able to live that life, maybe go a few months without having to have any income coming in at all, and you're only going to lose a few K. Whereas if you do it in London, you could lose 5 figures just by having 2 months where you're not really making any money. As for me, I'm no question going to be moving to Asia next year. That's the goal for me. Something I've envisioned for a long time. And I really can't wait to get out there and show you guys the experience and how we can do it in the best way as well. And this video is targeted towards 18 to 30 year olds that don't have ties, maybe living with their parents and want that next stage in their life. If you've got a family, you're not going to take your family to Asia and live there, are you? It's just not realistic. But if you do want to do something like this and you want to move to a city, you may have to earn a bit more money before you go for it, especially if you've got family to feed. This is all individual stuff. If you've got family to feed, this price is going to go up even more. And it goes to show that it isn't easy to get out of the lifestyle you'll live in just through trading prop firms if you want to live in Europe. But if you do want to live somewhere else in Asia, it's just way more achievable. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What would you be looking to do if you do make enough money? Of course, even if you're maybe living in Africa, you may want to see what it's like on the other side of the world in Asia, and maybe this is something that you would want to do. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you take something from it. See you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace out.